Matthew recorded this eschatological exchange between Christ and his disciples as he walked out that temple for the last time. I want to read to you that exchange from Matthew chapter 24, verses 1 through 14. I read this to you last week. Jesus left the temple and was going away when his disciples came to point out to him the buildings of the temple. But he answered them and said, "You see all these, do you not? Truly I say to you, there will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down." This was the prophecy of the Lord, that the temple complex in Jerusalem will be destroyed, which happened some 40 years later in AD 70, establishing himself as a credible prophet. As he sat on the Mount of Olives, verse 3, the disciples came to him privately saying, "Tell us, when will these things be? And when will be the sign of your coming and the end of the age?" Verse 4. And Jesus answered them and said, now what he gives them next are the signs of the end times in the great tribulation period. He said in the great tribulation period towards the very end, which I believe we're right around the corner from that time frame. And Jesus answered them and said, "See that no one leads you astray. For many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and will lead many astray. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars, and see that you are not alarmed. For what must take place? For all these things must take place, but the end is not yet." Verse 7, "For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these things are but the beginning of birth pains." And then he tells us what happens in the middle of the tribulation period after 3.5 years. "Then they will deliver you up to tribulation, and you will be put to death, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And many will fall away and betray one another. And many false prophets will arise and lead many astray. And because lawlessness will be increased, the love of many will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end will be saved." And at the very end of the tribulation period, at the end of that 7 years, and this gospel of the kingdom will be proclaimed throughout the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come.